Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the mid-monthly reading for July 2025. You have this publicity and this practicality card. It's hilarious because these are two very good words for the time that we're in, especially for you, Gemini, right? I think that with Uranus in your sign, definitely could be some like wacky things that help you stand out publicly, and you have that publicity card. I think it is an amazing time for Gemini to get publicity. Like, again, if you have like a business, or if you're writing a book or doing anything like that requires getting attention, definitely a very good time for you to do that. Also just good for like anything else, like love. Like, you can with this, you can definitely do things to give yourself positive publicity in love, right? Like, how you present yourself in love is obviously very important. So a lot of you could be working on those things. We're also kind of like in a impractical time, right? We had Pluto in Capricorn for many years, and now Pluto has entered into Aquarius officially this year. And so I think like in a lot of ways we've learned how to be practical, and now I think practicality is still important, but I also think with Uranus in your sign, that we should be a little bit impractical as well. We should balance both sides, because it's like we need both things. We need the impractical, crazy dream to accomplish something great, but we have to bring practicality to it, right? So that's what you're doing here, and that's it. In your current general energies, you have the King of Wands, the Empress, and the Two of Swords. Someone definitely finds you attractive, Gemini. And if they don't, they're about to. This could definitely be a new person. I mean, you have the Knight of Cups, the Page of Cups as well. Definitely could be a fire sign. I'm pretty sure you always get fire with me anyway. I mean, it could be any sign. You also have water here. You have air. You have basically everything. So, it could be any sign. I wouldn't get too hung up on it. But I do just feel there's general attraction. The other thing that I feel that's weird about this, I might have said this to you in your last reading, like it feels a very confident connection to me, but here's what I mean by that. I feel like both people are very confident about it, which is good, obviously. It's like if both people feel positive about the connection and like feel confident in the connection, then obviously things can go very well. The other thing that's popping into my head here is that I feel like if this is love coming in for you, Gemini, that you can take bigger risks with this person. Like, I'm talking about like vulnerability. It's like sometimes I think we're afraid to be vulnerable, or we're afraid to open up to a person, but it just seems to me like you can take those risks, and it's like you don't and you feel protected about it. And I feel this person, again, I feel if this is like two people who are feeling very much the same thing. It's like you both feel protected to me, like you're both protected in the connection. I think you're both feeling like you can be vulnerable with each other, and all that other good stuff. So it looks good, if this is love. I would also encourage you to be as confident as possible. It's kind of funny because the reading itself, like if I look at all the cards here, it's like saying to me, the more sure of your ideas you are, the better. And again, mark my words. I've already said it, and I'll say it again. You're going to have a lot of crazy ideas with Uranus in your sign, but those crazy ideas definitely could be your golden ticket in life, and I would be paying attention to those crazy ideas. You have the Empress. So Empress says you're very attractive at this time. Yeah, I mean, again, I think Uranus in your sign makes you a little bit electric. I think Uranus in your sign makes you a little bit unusual, like in a good way. It's like you could be standing out because you're kind of like highlighting what makes you unique or different. This won't just benefit you in love, though, Gemini. This will benefit you in work and business as well. It's like again, your unusual, unique approaches to things. Your unique ideas, all those things are going to make you very successful. I also feel like asking, like, what if it was easy? With the Emperor, she kind of asks that question. She just has to wave that scepter in front of her, and the wheat in front of her will grow, right? So she isn't struggling to make money. She is able to make money very easily by just waving that scepter in front of her, and the wheat in front of her grows. And so I'm not saying things are going to be super easy for you. I'm just saying that, like, what can you do to make money easier in your life? And I would definitely be thinking of that. You have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords, like this or that thinking. And Two of Swords, I always say is my card of third place solutions. She has this island behind her, and that island behind her represents a third place solution. You are going to be the king of third place solutions in starting now with Uranus in your sign. It's like, again, I think your superpower right now is while everybody is like saying, oh, we need to do things this way or this way, you're like way over here. It's like you're probably riding a unicorn pinata with a wizard hat on. Like that's you right now, Gemini. And you also probably have like I don't know, whatever weird other things you could possibly, you're probably wearing a robe that is glowing in the dark and stuff like that. Like you have these ideas that are coming from like the fifth dimension right now. And so your ideas are going to be very weird, but the more confident you are in those ideas, I think the more productive and successful you will be. So, don't discount your ideas and don't worry if people don't understand them. Here you go, with the King of Wands, yes, you have the Knight of Cups, basically the universe saying what I said. Definitely could be a very strong connection for those of you that want love. I feel like this could be something that really is really good. I mean, it feels good. It feels very confident. Like I said, that's the best word. That is like the only word I can come up with right now to describe the connection. Like both people, like the way I read is I put myself in your shoes and I feel like both people just feel confident about it. So there you go. With the Empress, you have the Eight of Wands. Definitely could be something that starts as communication, which is perfectly fine. We have Mercury retrograde. I always tell people, don't let retrogrades or astrology or tarot, for that matter, control your life. Just because it's a retrograde doesn't mean you shouldn't date, even though a lot of readers will tell you not to. I think that's ridiculous. If we really followed all the retrograde rules, we would never do anything. Or if we followed all the astrology rules, we would live in a bubble. So, again, if you're going to be that technical about it, then go live in a bubble. But for the rest of you, I think it's perfectly fine to communicate, talk, see where things go. You don't have to obviously don't overly commit to something and you'll be fine. I also feel very good about this for abundance. Again, the Empress is an excellent card for creating more abundance in your life. Those 8 wands are all pointing in one direction. And, again, the Empress is like about your focus as well. The Eight of Wands says when you're focused in one direction on exactly what you want, you can get it. So, the more focused you are, the better with that card, of course. With the Two of Swords, you have the Temperance card. Yeah, your opposite sign, Sagittarius, right here, Gemini. So I think for a lot of you, it's like I feel like you're ready to do something. I've been getting this message for a lot of people this half of the month for some reason, maybe because of the retrograde. It's like I wish I knew what the hell I wanted to say here, because it like gives me the vibes that like I feel like people think they're not ready to do something, or people could be thinking it's a Mercury retrograde, I can't take action. But it's like what people need to realize is actually, whatever you're doing right now is probably something you've already been doing, or it's like something you've already been thinking about. So it's not like you're really starting anything new. Same thing in love. It's like maybe what you don't realize is that maybe for months you've been working on yourself behind the scenes, like personally, and like all that work like kind of is getting you prepared for something. So it's like you are ready for something, if that makes sense. And that's kind of popping into my head here. So there you go. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Loyal Heart card. There you go. You have this Happy card. There you go. I think you will be very happy here, Gemini, at whatever is coming in for you in love. And clearly could be a very loyal person, which is great. So if you're attracting a connection, this could be a very loyal connection type of person. The Happy card, this lady, or the girl on that card, she is channeling happiness through the top of her head. And, that's the other thing that's popping into my head here with this card. If you're attracting a person, I think it's a person who is perfectly happy on their own, right? Which is good. It's like when you have two people who can create their own happiness, when you don't rely on someone else for your happiness, and this is both people, then good things can happen, right? And that's what this looks like to me. Two people who are perfectly happy doing their own thing, right? And so when you create that for yourself and you don't require someone else to make you happy, then, like I said, good things can happen. I also feel this is saying you need to be loyal to your own happiness. Like outside of love, you have the Ace of Cups here, which is, again, good for love. Definitely a good love reading. But, I feel it's also good for love, as in the energy of love. Like, what do you love, Gemini? I would be doing more of what you are loyal to here, like more of the activities, the hobbies, the interests. I would really be diving into that energy more this month. It just seems important for you. You have the Hangman, the Knight of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. The Hangman is, you always get this card with me now. We've been talking about it for weeks. How this is very, even though it's a Pisces card, it's very Uranus and Gemini. It is very much like new perspectives, and so I think a lot of you are just gaining new perspectives at this time. Uranus and Gemini is genius as well. And the Hangman is hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom. So, he has gained a certain level of genius in his life. And so a lot of you could be using your genius to accomplish great things, or you should be using your genius to accomplish great things. And that's definitely what I would be doing with this Hangman energy. It also seems to be an amazing time for answers. A lot of people have been getting these cards, like Ace of Swords, or the Judgment card. You don't have the Ace of Swords, I'm just giving examples. And people have been getting this card as well. Again, Mercury retrogrades can bring in great clarity. So I think people always think of retrogrades as confusing, but it's not always true. Sometimes they can make us very clear about what we're doing or the direction that we're going in, right? So you could be getting a lot of clarity here. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is like a knight in shining armor, so definitely could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you with the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is someone who sweeps you off your feet. So if, like I said, I don't know, I would go for it, is what I would say. Didn't I say this to you in your last reading as well? This is crazy. You have the Five of Pentacles. I'm pretty sure you had the Five of Pentacles in your last reading. And I remember because I was saying to you, it's like, this could be a water sign, by the way, and it could be a Scorpio, because Scorpio always gets us, but it could be any sign, general reading. I think people get way too hung up on the sign. Just find a good freaking person, right? And what I would say is, Five of Pentacles, I'm pretty sure what I said to you, is that Five of Pentacles is two people who have been through the same thing. And this can be a good thing because it basically means that you aren't going to do the same thing to each other. As in, like if you were cheated on in the past and they were cheated on in the past, it's like you're not going to do it to each other because you've been through it, right? It just like, I don't know. I think that you're meeting, and I'm pretty sure I just said this to you, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I really feel you are meeting a person who's been through something very similar to you. It's like, and I'm not saying this person is going to be crying on your shoulder telling you the story of their ex, right? But maybe you can just pick up on the fact that they have a similar story to you, right? And it's definitely popping into my head. The other thing that I'm getting here is that I think I'm getting something about imagination being important right now, Gemini. I think you have this practicality card. There is something about the energy being a little bit too practical right now. Maybe we need to be a little bit more imaginative, right? And so, like, let's say you're feeling stuck. You have the Ten of Wands next. We'll talk about it right now. Sure. You have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is feeling burdened, feeling like you're carrying too much weight, right? I think maybe what's missing is a little imagination, a little razzle-dazzle, a little bit of, something different. So if you're stuck on like in work or an idea or your career, it's like maybe you need a little bit more creativity or excitement, or you need to do something to make it more exciting. I don't know. That's kind of what's popping into my head here with the Ten of Wands. The other thing I would say is definitely Mercury retrograde, Saturn retrograde. Saturn is retrograde. At the time of this video being published, it will be retrograde, I should say. And the thing about Saturn retrograde is we should probably be careful that we are not taking on other people's responsibilities. And there you go. So I would be careful of that as well. With the Hangman, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Literally said it. This is like, I feel that this is two people who are perfectly happy being very independent and doing things on their own. The Nine of Pentacles is also the card of gratitude and luxuries. Yeah, I think the more grateful you can be, the better at this time. Like, the more you can practice gratitude, the more good things you're going to attract. There's definitely something about abundance here, Gemini. Like, I feel there is abundance that you could be creating, but I feel like there's a need to not get dragged down into negativity this month. I don't think it's a bad month, the rest of the month, or the rest of, let's just pretend that this reading is from now until the end of the retrograde, which is August 12th. I feel like there could be just a thing where you get a little bit negative about money. And I feel like this is saying if you don't do that, money will go well. So definitely keep it positive financially, right? With the Knight of Cups, you have the Four of Swords. I'm getting this is what you've been waiting for, really. That's not what the Four of Swords represents, but intuitively, that's what's popping into my head. Like, you could be attracting a person, and it's like really a person that you've been waiting for. Or it's like really the type of person you've been waiting for. And I feel this is definitely going to be a connection that makes you very happy. It just feels like something very happy to me here, Gemini. And I love that. It's like this is something you've been hoping and praying for. This doesn't even have to be love. For others, this could be any other type of blessing that you've been praying for. And so if you've been praying and asking for something, I definitely feel like you're getting what you've been asking for. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. I feel that you could be looking at things you've outgrown. Ten of Wands is like carrying certain burdens. It's like we all have those things in life where we feel like we have to do them, like there's certain obligations, or we feel like, certain that we have to do things a certain way. Three of Wands is expanding past that. It's like kind of, five-heading something. It's kind of like realizing, like, things don't have to be this hard, right? It's like, everybody thinks, like, to make money, you have to work hard. But there are plenty of examples of people who don't work hard and make a lot of money, right? And so that's the best way I can describe what I feel here. It's like you're saying, like, maybe things don't have to be hard. Maybe I can expand past this. Same thing in love and business and all other areas. Like, maybe you're saying, love doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be arguments and bad things and all this other stuff. It's like, I just, for whatever reason, I feel like this Three of Wands is saying you are expanding past things. You're changing your mind about things, and you're deciding, maybe you're just deciding to believe other things, and that's good, obviously. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this pull yourself close. It says every part of your being is deserving of love. You have this let go of the past. It says it's time to envision a new story. You're the second person to have this card. I shuffle, if you don't know, I shuffle these cards in between signs. I just don't do it people ask me all the time, why don't I shuffle these cards? I'm like, do you want to watch me shuffle for 40 minutes? Probably not. So I just don't do it on camera. There you go. But what I would say here is definitely time to let go of the past. One thing I will say is we're kind of like locking things in right now, like literally right now. Like today, this video will be published on the 13th. So from like the 13th to the 17th, like you are locking things in. And I would say, I think people really need to decide what they want their future life to look like, because like what you're locking in now is going to be the next 20 years of your life. So, and you don't have to be perfect, and you only have to plant a small seed to get started right now towards like your dream life. So don't panic, right? But at the same time, if you're like holding on to past garbage, then you're going to have a hard time. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Judgment card. Yeah, I think you're waking up to something new here. Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold, but the Five of Pentacles wants us to focus on our strengths. And, I'm really a big fan of doing this. There are, I said this at the beginning of the year, I think, in the early readings, that there will be many things that make us feel weak at this time. It's kind of just like the time that we're in. The trick is that the people who are brave, bold, assertive, and really go for what they want and don't care, and the people who say, you know what, yes, I do feel this. And you know what, it's not about hiding it either. It's not about saying, look how brave I am. It's not about any of that, right? It's about saying, yes, I am scared. I'm shitting my pants all the time now, but I'm also taking action no matter what anyway, right? That's what it's about. So I think the people who do that are going to end up in a better position. You have the Five of Cups. Yes, there's something much better in the future. I think everybody needs to realize this. He's grieving the loss of something he no longer enjoys. But he has these two cups behind him in this bridge in this castle. If he would just turn around and see these two cups, he would get the bridge in the castle. So there's something much, much better coming in for you here that you need to like go and get. And it's like something that you're going to be committing to, or, it's something that you're going to be creating in your life. And I feel it's time to let go of the old story, and that's what this reading is encouraging. Same thing with the Judgment card. The Judgment card is definitely encouraging you to let go of the old story. They are standing in these coffins. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin represents their new life. And by stepping into their new life, they're creating something totally new. They're closing the door on the past. This Mercury retrograde definitely seems to be one of those retrogrades that could be bringing a lot of things back from the past. I've already heard a lot of stories from people about like exes coming back and things like that. And I think it's because it's a good retrograde for, burying the hatchet, forgiving the past, letting things go, like all that, and also shedding that stuff. Like but it doesn't even have to be exes. Like there could be parts of your old story that you're still holding on to. And, by shedding those things and stepping into your new life, things will be getting better. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords card of curiosity and needing to look into your curiosity as well. It is a good time for you to be curious, Gemini. So, part of me feels like this is you. The other thing is I feel like a person is curious about you. Like I said, it's like two people who are exactly the same, like you and the person right here, right? So, I don't know. Definitely a new person for those of you that want it. With the Five of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands. Yes, it's time to like live in La La Land a little bit for you, Gemini, I feel. Not like, I wouldn't say you should totally get lost, but I feel that it would be great for you to be willing to, explore new ideas, like I said, but also to be like a little bit imaginative. And again, I don't think you need to get too carried away here, but just, kind of playing the game. And, maybe you have a dream all of a sudden where you're like, oh, I'm going to go work on this business idea or whatever. It's like, just imagine it. See what happens. Kind of let your imagination run wild. With the Judgment card, you have the High Priestess. Definitely time to trust your intuition for sure. This right here is your higher self angel. Sorry, I dropped it. On the top here, this is your higher self angel. The High Priestess can say you're getting messages from your higher self. So if you're wondering, like, are these messages that I'm receiving? The answer is yes. You are definitely getting messages from your higher self. So I feel like you need to listen to those higher self messages so that good things can happen. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Explosive Situations card. It says, the destruction will allow new growth to emerge and shape a new future. It's coming up in the good stuff, so if you had anything that did get destroyed, obviously it's creating a much better future. You have this Wave of Emotions. It says, a new experience will enter your life that will stir a wave of emotions within you. Yes, definitely. Definitely could be, love, for sure. That's coming in for you here. I mean, you have the Page of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. This would be a person that's like rushing into your life and, could definitely cause a wave of emotions. Page of Cups would be you being very happy. Page of Cups is love, total fulfillment, and happiness. So there could be, a very strong connection here. Page of Cups is like an admirer as well. So I feel like this will be like a person that you admire or something like that. So I do like to see this for you here, Gemini. I feel it's going to be very good. The Page of Cups can also be a dream. He has this fish in the cup. And I frequently say that he needs to bring that fish down to earth. That fish could be part of his imagination, but he might need to bring it down so that he can be more successful. And I kind of feel that for you on that card. You have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords says no rushing at this time. Knight of Swords, he is like rushing and trying to force something to happen. But at the same time, it's coming up in the good stuff. So, again, if you meet a person, if it moves quickly, I mean, as long as it works, right? So I wouldn't get too caught up in worrying about it, that's for sure. Of course, I would take your time. Like, I wouldn't try to rush. But, if it happens to move quickly, then it moves quickly. But I definitely do feel there is something, even though it's a Mercury retrograde, again, it doesn't matter. Things happen. Again, astrology is not like set in stone. It's not like, it's like people love to tell me how like I shouldn't break the rules and everything. I'm like, yeah, but for every rule that you come up with, there are people who've broken the rule that are perfectly fine. So, it's like, yeah, it could move quickly, but it is what it is. You have the Ace of Cups. Definitely a wave of emotions that will enter your life. Or a new experience will enter your life that will stir a wave of emotions. Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing. It is a wave of emotions, being very happy, good things happening after a difficult period of time. So, I think this is good. Definitely could be a love offer. The Ace of Cups also says you need to do more things that cause your emotions to overflow. Like, the more you can do to be happy and joyful and all that other good stuff, the better with that card. With the Page of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is like a change your fortunes. I mean, this literally could be you attracting a person that changes your life. I feel like you change each other's lives. I feel this relationship feels very reciprocal to me. Like, it's like you're both like resonating at the same level. You're causing the same things to happen for each other, if that makes sense. And I definitely do not think that is true for most relationships, right? I think the good ones, it's true. So I don't know. It gives me that vibe of like, you are changing each other's lives in some way. The funny thing is, I'm not even saying this is like your forever person. It could be, but this could be something that isn't meant to last, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Again, sometimes the most significant connections in life are the ones that don't last, right? So, there you go. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Five of Cups. You have the Five of Cups twice. You could be fearing regrets, but again, this is coming up in the good stuff. So this would say that you aren't regretting anything, or that you won't regret this, So there you go. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Justice card. Yeah, the only thing you need to pay attention to is cause and effect. If you put energy in, do you get energy back? If the answer is yes, great, keep going. If the answer is no, stop, and then do something else, right? All we have to do is pay attention to the exchange of energy with the Justice card. And as long as we pay attention, then things will go very well. It's only when we don't pay attention to like what we're getting that we have a problem. You have this. Didn't I say something about unicorns at the beginning of the reading? I'm pretty sure. It says, use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Yes. Also, unicorns could be very important for you at this time, Gemini. So there you go. Maybe you need to find a unicorn to ride or something. I don't know. But definitely. You have this elephant. It says, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. Like I feel a lot in your reading. I feel this weird energy in your reading, I'm not going to lie. Like, not bad, but just weird. Like, maybe even literally today when you're watching this reading, maybe you feel out of sorts, right? In a certain way. And I'm not saying it has to be bad. You could be feeling a little bit emotional or something like that. But I feel a little bit out of sorts in your reading, which is how you could be feeling. And, but I feel like what this is the long journey you have been on. It's like everything's coming back at once is almost what it feels like to me. Like all these experiences you've had over the years are kind of flooding back into your life at this time, and you could be processing a lot. So I think, be kind to yourself. You have a star. It says guaranteed success. Love it. Definitely could be some guaranteed success for you. You have this older man. It says dealings or relationships in the older man. You have this mountain road. It says you are on the road to success. There you go. You could be attracting a person where there's an age difference. There could be an age gap. I feel that, but obviously it could be very successful. The other thing is I feel that we are in an amazing time for mentors. So it doesn't have to be a man. It could just be a person. And if you're like trying to accomplish something, there could be a person who has very simple advice for you that could really help you. So I would get that advice. It's also interesting that you have this mountain card. It says major challenge to overcome. I wouldn't worry about this at all because, again, it looks like you're on the road to success. And so there you go, Gemini. But pretty interesting. I like this for you, Gemini. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.